Well, I was really pleased that Ken asked me to make this video because I was unable to attend the conference, and I hope you're all having a great time. I really believe that children are almost philanthropic by nature. I know that when they're little they grab toys away from each other, but they tend to be caring souls. And I think if you start when they're little to nurture that side of their temperament, that they're very interested in helping other people, especially when there's something concrete that they can do. So when my 3 grandchildren who live in California were really small, I used to be out there around the holidays every year. And at the end of the year, like most of you, I get a lot of envelopes from organizations asking me to help. So I started taking them with me on the trip and taking my checkbook, and I would sit down with the kids, and starting at the time they were like 7, 5, and 3, and we would put all the envelopes out on the table, and I would tell them, well, Noni has $1,000 to give away. And we have to decide of all these people who's going to get the money and how much they're going to get. So Alex, who's very mathematical, would get a pencil and paper and he would calculate. And Matthew, who was a little older, would read, and they would ask me, well, what does that organization do? Like Doctors Without Borders. And I would try to explain to them that there were children in other countries who didn't have doctors that they could go to all the time, and these were doctors who would help them. Alex was quite impressed by that. He said, I think you should give them $80, Noni. So we would write the check, and we would put it in the envelope, and we would go through that until we ran out of money, whatever my contributions were for that year. Then we'd put all the checks in the envelope, and we'd address them all, and we'd go to the mailbox, and we'd put them in the mailbox and mail them. And if there was an opportunity in any of those donations to make them in honor of someone, of course I would make them in honor of the children. When the letter came thanking the children for their gift, I would send it to them. And we did that for several years, and they seemed really interested and excited about it, and they even remembered some of the organizations that we gave to. So that was like a fun, hands-on thing that we did together that helped them kind of participate in giving, because they were a little too little to be volunteers at that time. So last year my husband and I were fortunate enough to go on a safari to Kenya, and one of the things that we did was to visit the David Sheldrick Trust in Nairobi, which is an organization that rescues baby elephants whose parents have sadly been poached. So our granddaughter Margot adores animals, and for $50 you can sponsor an orphan. So we sponsored an orphan for Margot and sent her all the information about it, and the Sheldrick Trust emails you about how your elephant's doing. And she became very interested and excited about helping this baby elephant. She talked to some of her little girlfriends at school, 3 little girls, these are 3rd graders, and they decided to have a fundraiser, because I don't think they understood fundraiser, for the Sheldrick Trust. And they got together and had a meeting, and they were actually whiteboarding all their ideas that they were going to do for their fundraiser. And their moms got involved. They invited all the little girls in the 2nd and 3rd grade at their school because they wanted it to be inclusive. They gave a couple of bake sales, and then they had this party where all the children came. They had activities. They found a speaker who knew about the trust and could talk to the girls, and they raised nearly $1,000, these 4 little 8-year-old girls. And it was a neat experience for them because they did the work. The moms really did help and participate, but the girls really were the driving force. And when the money was raised, they were able to adopt 4 baby elephants and to also donate the rest of the money to the trust. And I thought that was a really terrific example of children being motivated to help and to do something for other people. Of course, it helps to find something that they can be excited about too. And I guess the last thing is my grandsons and granddaughter, they have 3 jars, like some families. They have their giving jar and their spending jar and their saving jar. And the giving jar is a charity jar, and the spending jar that's their allowance. They can do whatever they want with part of it. And then the saving is to save up for something that takes a little bit of time to actually acquire enough money to purchase. And the boys were saving up for some video game of some kind when their PE teacher in their school in California got a pink slip. And in order to provide physical education for their children, the parents did a fundraiser to help fund his salary. The boys had $100 saved for that video game, and they donated all of the money to Mr. Schaefer's fund. And when I asked them why, They said that they thought PE was way more fun than video games. But I think it showed that they already had the kind of the instinct to be kind and generous and giving. And I was really proud of that instinct, and I am proud of them. I think it's incumbent upon everyone to help children understand how they can help other people in the world and do it in a way that's fun and interesting and appropriate for the kids at whatever age they are.